Today, we'll be looking at what social media does to women's brains and its negative impact on women. Because in this space, we hear that women who are on social media apps are undateable and not marriage material. So is that really true? Are all women who use social media undateable or a certain type? We'll look at what social media is doing to women so we can make a wise decision to date or not to date women who are active on social media. And just remember that not all women on social media are a 304 or an attention whore. Some women have legit businesses that make really good money, like a YouTube channel or an Instagram business page, so everything is not necessarily black and white. Just because a woman has social media, it doesn't mean she is doing 304 activities on there, so just keep that in mind if you choose to date seriously or have a situationship. With that said, if I were to ever date, would it be a woman with social media? No, my reasoning is I'm not going to compete with that smartphone or the plethora of men that they have access to if they have social media. So if you want to date seriously, I would tell you to stay clear of active women on social media. If her hobby is social media, that's a huge red flag, in my opinion. Do what you want, but you can't say I did not tell you to stay clear of women who do stuff like that. If it's YouTube or maybe TikTok, then you can give those a pass, but Facebook, Instagram, or any picture or video sharing platform is an automatic no-no. Just know that if you choose to only talk to women who don't have social media, your pool of women will be very small. So it is what it is. If you want to do that for long-term relationships, even though I don't recommend it, make sure she doesn't use social media. Alright, we're going to dive into 2 articles today to show why men will say don't mess with women on social media apps. And I agree somewhat with that, but it depends on how she uses it. The first article is by ThriveWorks, and it's titled, How Social Media Affects Women's Mental Health. Negatives versus positives. We'll just be focusing on the negatives for the purpose of this video. Let's get this video to 400 likes. I know this topic won't get many views, but this information is necessary so you know what to expect when trying to have a relationship or situationship with modern women. Alright, let's dive in. It seems like nearly everyone with a smartphone has at least one social app that they dedicate a little time to. Around 72% of us pick up our phones and tap on those familiar icons daily, but the effects of using social media don't affect everyone with the same intensity. In fact, more so than other groups, women may be more positively and negatively affected by social media usage. However, the reasons why might actually surprise you. How and why social media affects women's mental health more than others. Compared to men, women typically have larger social followings and networks, which usually means that more people are engaging with their posts and with their accounts. But with more engagement comes more time spent on social apps. In turn, this may naturally increase both positive and negative interactions with other users and the content that others are posting. The negatives of how social media affects women's mental health tend to be highlighted more than the positives, possibly because our brains are biased toward negative information. But even though there are definitely some positives to how social media affects women, the positive effects could outweigh them. Take a look at the cons, plus how to make the most out of the positive effects of social media for women. The negative effects of social media on women. Most of the cons of social media that pertain specifically to women have to do with issues related to body image or feelings of social isolation. Some of the most notable cons of social media for women include the following. Number 1. Younger women in particular are more likely to try coping with painful emotions or existing mental health conditions by posting humor-related content or browsing pseudo-mental health pages instead of seeking treatment from a professional. Alright gents, I had to pause on this one. So if my memory serves me right, there was a trend on TikTok of women that were self-diagnosing themselves for mental health diseases instead of going to an actual professional. All in the name of attention. It's like having a mental illness is something to be proud of in today's society with how it's promoted. People will tell you to go to therapy when they are the one that has the problem and needs help. And all of this stems from social media and fatherless homes. But to be fair, you guys are still dating these women who show and tell you that they're crazy, so I don't know what to say. It's simple. If you don't want BS, then don't date women who have mental issues and live a double life on social media. But some of you are so desperate for some stank that you'll take any BS just to have an in-house or convenient wet vice grip at your fingertips. I can't feel sorry for some of you when you purposefully ignored all the red flags in your pursuit to wet your salami. Anyways, let's continue. Number 2. Instagram use increases the likelihood of women developing body image issues, mostly due to unrealistic or Photoshop content created by influencers they follow or their peers. Long-term Instagram use in women is associated with lower body satisfaction. Number 3. Women with darker skin tones may start to be steered towards skin whitening solutions thanks to targeted ads. whereas women with lighter skin tones may be encouraged through a similar process to seek out potentially dangerous tanning solutions that increase their risk of cancer. Number 4. Regular social media use is likely to increase feelings of social isolation in women, despite users typically attempting to connect with other people. In a study of over 900 people, around 75% of whom were women ages 26 to 35, users who spent more of their time on social media reported increased feelings of loneliness and also showed symptoms of smartphone addiction. Gents, all of these are true and things that men have to deal with when dating women on social media. It makes them have very low self-esteem and constantly feel like they're not good enough. Women constantly compare themselves to other women, and on social media, it only skyrockets to unimaginable amounts. With social media, every influencer is advertising either the fake or ideal versions of themselves out into the world. And normal women cannot go anywhere close to imitating or competing against them without using filters, Photoshop, makeup, breast and butt implants, waist trainers, and so on. So when women look in the mirror and then at people on social media showing the highlights of their lives, it will affect them because they naturally don't look like the influencers and they know they're judged and valued based on their appearance. That's why you see so many women on social media with edited photos, makeup, or filters to make them look as good as possible, but it also makes them feel like crap when all of that is gone and they're left with their true selves. Some women go as far as to do plastic surgery and put in implants to look a little bit better. To me, that's a huge red flag, and those women should not be taken seriously at all. Many suffer from depression, identity crisis, low self-esteem, being overly insecure, and a lot more BS you don't want to deal with as a man. And then the girls that change their skin tone because they don't feel comfortable in their own skin is an automatic disqualification. If someone is so displeased with the color that they were born with to the point where they are willing to risk catching cancer to change their skin tone, cannot be wife material. That's just my take on it. We all know that social media has made people in the real world lonelier even when they have many followers, and it will get worse when the metaverse comes into play. Alright, let's dive into the next article by Forbes, and they were looking at Instagram specifically and how it harms young women, according to research. Now, I won't cover the entire article because it's not necessary, but I'll cover the relevant points to back up what I've been saying. Without further ado, let's dive in. Here's just a small sample of what we already know about the negative impact of social media. Number 1. Depression, lower self-esteem, appearance anxiety, and body dissatisfaction are all associated with Instagram use. One study examined the frequency of Instagram use and found it was linked with all of these adverse outcomes. Number 2. Posting selfies impacts mood. One study published in 2018 found that college-age women who took and posted selfies reported worse moods and felt less attractive. Interestingly, these negative outcomes occurred even when allowing participants to retake and retouch their photos. Number 3. Social media use increased desire for cosmetic surgery. In 2010, a study examined 600 Dutch adolescents between 11 to 18 years old and found social media use was associated with an increased desire for cosmetic surgery. Gents, I just covered those points, and there are researches for each of these negative impacts that have some validity to prove that these are the things that men will have to deal with when dating women on social media, especially if your girl is addicted. And most of them are, she will have some, if not all of these issues. So do you want to deal with those issues, or would you rather stay single? Let's continue. Number 4. Brain activity changes with likes. One study conducted a brain fMRI study of adolescents to examine their brain activity associated with Instagram likes. fMRI is a type of imaging that can pinpoint the changes in blood flow in different parts of the brain and can indicate the location of brain activity. The participants exhibited greater brain activity when they were shown photos with more likes. When their own photos received likes, the brain's reward center was activated. The researchers conclude a like is a social cue specific to adolescents' cultural sphere, and adolescents use this cue to learn how to navigate their social world. Number 5. Drive for thinness increased with Instagram use, in particular. This study found that viewing appearance-focused posts like models and fitness bloggers resulted in an increased drive for thinness. Viewing other types of posts did not have the same impact. Number 6. Manipulation of photos is a problem for body image. A study entitled Picture Perfect: The Direct Effect of Manipulated Instagram Photos on Body Image in Adolescent Girls, published in 2016, found that the manipulation of Instagram posts had a negative impact on adolescent girls. Since photos these days are easily manipulated, this study investigated the impact of viewing Instagram photos of peers that were manipulated to remove eye bags, wrinkles, and impurities, and to reshape legs to be thinner and waist to be slimmer. Results showed that exposure to these manipulated Instagram photos directly resulted in a decrease in one's own body image. I have to ask, who wants to manage or keep women in check like this? And the sad part is they are literally doing all this self-harm to themselves. I always say that men are here to protect women from themselves, and every day you see a TikTok or article like this, it proves my point that women are their own worst enemies. It's as if it's in their nature to sabotage and self-destruct themselves and the people closest to them. I remember when I was younger, even back then, I thanked God I was not born a woman. Even at a young age, I could see the BS from a mile away that women are their own worst enemies, and you guys want to throw your life away and marry these women. I don't even know what to say other than I'm not dealing with any of this BS. You guys who want a relationship, figure it out. I'll stay single and live my life in peace, quiet, and freedom if this is what I have to look forward to. Let's continue. Number 7. Self-deletion thoughts linked to social media use. One review of 9 studies on social networking and self-termination found. Online social networking also leads to increased exposure to engagement in self-harm behavior due to users receiving negative messages promoting self-harm, emulating self-injurious behavior of others, and adopting self-harm practices from shared videos. Greater time spent on social networking websites led to higher psychological distress, an unmet need for mental health support, poor self-rated mental health, and increased self-deletion ideation. I'm done. All this BS is just because of social media that most women have at their fingertips. Hey, you guys deal with it. I'll be over here with my popcorn watching society burn down. I mean, I'm trying to understand how someone reaches the point where they get hate or exposed to self-harm content and decide to permanently check out of life. Why not delete the app and live in the real world? I can't with you people, and you guys want me to roll the dice and find a unicorn that loves me for me and doesn't have social media. Don't make me laugh. Gents, it's over. Just give up on having a successful lifetime relationship going forward. And if you think this is bad, wait until the elites have all of us with microchips in our heads and connected to the metaverse. Guys, it's over. Go focus on something else, for crying out loud. Start a YouTube channel or go fishing if you guys want something better to do than go in a relationship. Share the video with a man that needs to be aware of why he should not date women on social media. The links to our Cash App and PayPal are in the description box below if you want to support us with your wallet. And if you want to learn the ugly truth of modern women that is only getting worse, then click the video on the screen right now to get this information.